Now we will discuss what is KPI means. You can see these visuals at top, and by the way, this is the final dashboard that looks like after completing our designing process. And when I select the year 2022, you can see that the total EV sold for that year is 271k, and when I select the year 2023, the total EV sold value for that year is 775k, and below there you can see the value 271k, which is the previous year value. What we are actually doing is we are setting the previous year as a target. By that we can know how much our sales has been increased or decreased, and this is what actually KPI means. And before we build the KPI visual, first let's understand what a KPI actually means. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. It's basically a metric that tells you whether you are meeting your target or not. In simple word, a normal number shows what is happening. A KPI shows whether it is good or bad compared to a goal. That's why we use KPI in our dashboards. They help stakeholders quickly understand, are we on track, and are we below the target, are we above the target. So instead of just seeing a value like 12%, the KPI visual immediately tells them this is good or this is bad using colors, indicators and comparisons to target. In short, KPI equal to important metric plus target plus status, used to quickly check performance without reading large tables or charts. You can see here that we need to create two measures. One should show the current year value and another one should show the previous year value. And I will tell you how to do that. It is very simple. I am going to create a new measure. Call it total EV sales per makers last year, that means LY, and I'm going to use a function calculate, and I need, see, this is the measure total EV sales per maker. This gives the current year sales value. For this measure, whenever I set the year, I need the previous year data. For that, I am going to use a formula called same period last year, and the dates give the dim date column, and close the bracket and click enter. Click the KPI visual and drag and drop the total EV sales per makers measure in the value, and in the trend axis you should drag and drop the fiscal year, and the target drag and drop the last year value we have created. And you can see that the number is too much big, it is hard to consume. So click the visual and go to format, and in the callout value and go to display units and click 1000, and we don't need any decimal here. And now we have created our first KPI visual, and I think we also don't need the title. So go to title and turn it off. And now I need you to create these two KPI card. One is for total vehicles sold and another is for the penetration rate. And if you stuck in between, then use this video as a solution, and I hope you will do it. Okay, we will see the designing process in the designing video. Now this is fine. And next I am going to create a KPI card for the total vehicles sold by state. So I am going to create a new measure that gives us the previous year value, that is total vehicle sold per states LY, and again use the calculate formula, and the expression is total EVs total sales per state measure, and we need the previous year value. I'm going to use the formula same period last year, and here the date mention the dim date column, and close the bracket and click enter, and copy this visual and delete this value and drag and drop the sales per state measure in the values, and remove this and drag and drop the total vehicles sold per state's last year measure. And I also need another KPI card that shows the penetration rate. So again, I'm going to create a new measure, that is penetration rate ly, and again I'm going to use the calculate formula, and we have this measure called penetration rate percentage, and I need the last year value. And now again copy paste this visual and remove this value and drag and drop the penetration rate percentage, and remove this and drag and drop the penetration rate last year, and click this visual, go to the format and change the call value from 1000 to none. And change the decimal into something 2. We have created last year value penetration rate and change it into a percentage. That's very important. And now we have created our 3 KPI cards. We don't have the enough space, right? Click this visual and go to format and size and style. Change the height into 90 or 92 and the width into 200 or 190, and go to the value, go to the cart value and change the size into 20. And now click this visual and click the format painter and click this, and again click this visual, click the format painter and click this card, and you can see that in this card we don't use the percentage, right? But this card is percentage, so when we use the format painter it suddenly vanished. So click this card and go to the format and to the card value and change the display unit into auto and decimal equal to 2, and that's it. And now we have some enough space to organize the things. And alright, we will see the remaining designing process in the our designing videos. And if you look at, see, this shows us the penetration rate for state, and this measure is based on the total vehicles sold, comparing both electric and non-electric vehicles, also by state. And but this, and in this card we used the maker's measure. I think it should also have the electric vehicles sold by state. So click this visual and go to the measure we used, and this is the last year measure we created, right? So click the measure and change this into total EV sales per state and click enter, and also remove this value from this visual and add the total EV sales per state in the value, and again we need to change the measure name, right? So change it into total EV sales per states last year, and click enter. And now we have created our KPI cards, and in the upcoming videos we are going to design this dashboard into something that looks like this.